Please, let me go! I haven't done anything!
I begged. Please, for Allah's sake, stop! But his eyes were empty, like he didn't hear me. At 17, in the holiest place I'd ever known, I was raped. My name is Amina, and I was 17 when I went on Hajj, the pilgrimage every Muslim dreams of. Growing up in Lahore, Pakistan, in a small house filled with the scent of my mother's biryani and the sound of my father's evening prayers, Hajj was my fairy tale. I'd sit cross-legged on the floor listening to Baba weave stories of the Kaaba, how its black stone held centuries of devotion, how the pilgrims moved like a single heartbeat. United in faith, he'd stroke my hair and say, "Amina, one day you'll go and Allah will wash your soul clean." When my family scraped together every rupee they had to send me, I felt like I was carrying their dreams with me. I was the chosen one, the girl who'd make them proud. Stepping into Mecca was like walking into a dream. The air was heavy with heat, thick with the smell of oud and rose water, and the chants of Labik Allahumma Labik echoed like a song that had been sung forever. I was in awe, my heart racing as I saw the Kaaba for the first time, its black cloth shimmering under the sun. I felt so small yet so connected, like I was part of something infinite. I'd wake up before dawn, eager to join the sea of white-clad pilgrims, my abaya brushing against my ankles as I walked, my lips whispering prayers I'd memorized since childhood. I was ready to fulfill the fifth pillar of Islam, to stand before Allah pure and whole. My heart wasn't just full, it was overflowing, but that dream shattered on the third day. The crowds during Tawa were suffocating, a swirling mass of bodies pressing against each other. I was with my aunt and cousins, holding my aunt's hand tightly, but the crowd was relentless. One moment her fingers were laced with mine, the next they were gone. I called out, "Kala, Aisha!" But my voice was swallowed by the roar of prayers and footsteps. My chest tightened, my breath shallow as I pushed through the crowd, searching for their familiar faces. I was alone, a 17-year-old girl in a sea of strangers, my heart pounding with fear. Then a hand grabbed my arm. I spun around, expecting my cousin, but it was a man, older, maybe in his 40s. His face weathered, his eyes hard. He wore the white ihram just like every other pilgrim. But something about him felt wrong. "Lost little sister," he said, his voice smooth but cold. "I'll help you find your family." I was scared, but I nodded, clinging to the hope that he was a good Muslim, a brother in faith. He led me away from the Kaaba, through narrower paths, past tents flapping in the dry wind. My stomach churned, but I told myself to trust him. This was Hajj, the holiest place on earth. Nothing bad could happen here. I was so wrong. In a quiet corner far from the crowds, he pushed me against a wall. His hands were rough, tearing at my abaya. I screamed, but the sound was lost in the distant hum of prayers. I clawed at him, my nails digging into his arms, but he was too strong. I begged, "Please, for Allah's sake, stop!" But his eyes were empty, like he didn't hear me. At 17, in the holiest place I'd ever known, I was raped. My body felt like it wasn't mine anymore, like I was watching it happen from somewhere far away. When it was over, he walked away, disappearing into the crowd, leaving me crumpled on the ground. My abaya torn, my soul shattered. I don't know how I stumbled back to my aunt. My legs were shaking. My face was streaked with tears and dust. When I told her, my voice barely a whisper. She slapped me so hard my ears rang.
"What have you done? You've shamed us all!"
"How could you let this happen?" She spat. "You've brought shame on us all." Shame. That word was a knife twisting in my chest. I was the one who'd been violated. But I was the one blamed. I went to the authorities, my hands trembling as I told them what happened. But they barely looked at me. "No witnesses," they said. no proof. Don't tarnish the sanctity of Hajj with such claims. My family told me to keep quiet to protect our honor. Honor, as if I had any left after what that man stole from me. That night I knelt on my prayer mat, my body aching, my heart heavy. I begged Allah for answers. Why did this happen? Where was his protection? I'd come to his house, pure and faithful, and this was my reward. I waited for a sign, a whisper of comfort. But there was nothing, just silence, cold and heavy. For the first time in my life, I felt abandoned by the God I'd loved so fiercely. Back in Lahore, the nightmares came. Every night I'd wake up screaming, feeling his hands on me, smelling the dust of that corner. I stopped praying. The words I'd once cherished, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, felt like lies. How could I pray to a God who let this happen in his sacred place? My mother noticed, her eyes narrowing as she watched me skip Salah. "What's wrong with you, Amina?" she'd ask, her voice sharp. I couldn't tell her. The shame was too heavy. The fear of her rejection is too real. I started asking questions quietly at first. Why did the Imam say women must cover to avoid tempting men, as if my body was the sin? Why did the community whisper about me, calling me damaged? When I was the one who'd been hurt, I read the Quran, desperate for answers, but found verses that confused me. Rules about women's obedience, punishments that felt harsh. I pored over hadith, but some stories made my stomach turn, especially the ones about women's place in the world. The more I read, the more I saw cracks in the faith I'd once held so tightly. One day, my best friend Sarah came over. We'd grown up together, praying side by side, giggling over boys we'd never dare talk to. She saw me sitting in my room, surrounded by books, my hijab discarded on the floor. "Amina, you've changed," she said, her voice soft with worry. "You don't come to the mosque anymore. What's happened to you?" The words spilled out before I could stop them. "I was raped, Sarah, in Mecca, during Hajj. And everyone blamed me. Where was Allah? Where was his mercy?" My voice broke, tears streaming down my face. Sarah reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "You can't blame God for one man's sin," she said. "Have faith, Amina." Faith. The word stung. Faith hadn't protected me. Faith hadn't brought justice. All it brought was silence and shame. I couldn't live like that anymore. At university, I found refuge in the library, devouring books that opened my mind. Nietzsche's words about questioning everything hit me like a thunderbolt. Dawkins challenged the idea of a loving God. Ayaan Hirsi Ali's story felt like my own, a woman who'd suffered under the weight of faith and found freedom by letting go. I started to see Islam not as divine truth, but as a system built by men, one that often crushed women like me. It was terrifying to question everything I'd been raised to believe, but it was also like breathing for the first time. Leaving Islam wasn't a single moment. It was a slow, agonizing unraveling. I stopped wearing my hijab, and my mother's eyes filled with tears. "You're breaking my heart," she said. When I told my family I no longer believed, my father's face turned to stone. "You're no daughter of mine," he said, his voice cold. They cut me off, their doors closed to me. Sarah stopped calling. The community I'd once loved turned its back. I was alone, but I was also free. I moved to a new country at 22, carrying nothing but a suitcase and a heart full of scars. I started writing, pouring my pain onto pages, sharing my story online. I found others, ex-Muslims, survivors, people who'd been shunned for daring to question. They became my new family, one that didn't demand my silence. I learned to love myself, not as a Muslim, not as a victim, but as Amina, a woman who survived, who questioned, who rebuilt her life. I'm 25 now, living in a small apartment where the sun streams through the windows. The nightmares still come sometimes, but they're quieter now. I carry the scars of that day in Mecca, but they don't own me. I do. I found peace in my own truth, in the strength it took to walk away from a faith that failed me. I'm not the girl who dreamed of Hajj anymore. I'm a woman who dreams of a world where no one is silenced, where no one is shamed for their pain. And for the first time in years, I'm not just surviving, I'm living. If you're searching for answers, if you've ever felt that emptiness inside that nothing in this world can fill, know this: Jesus is waiting for you, not with judgment, not with anger, but with love, with open arms, with the peace and purpose you've been longing for. You are not alone, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've done. He sees you, he knows you, and he loves you more than you could ever imagine. The truth is real, the truth is out there, the truth is a person. His name is Jesus.